Okay, take us from the beginning, from the start of like when you got into fitness and then eventually, ventured into CrossFit. So when did that all start?
Okay, it's a long story.
Yeah, I know you've got some good stories, Breck.
Started when I was young, probably 10, 11 years old, with my dad, with an old machine that would actually connected to the wall of my bedroom, and you could fold it out and do like leg extensions, bench press. It had the concrete weights with the, you just put the pin in it and select it. You could do pull downs. So I started like that. Rode a bicycle a lot, more kind of, I'd say distance anywhere from 10 to 20 miles on a regular basis. And then got into weights. We joined some gyms. Did that through high school. Always liked weightlifting. Went to college and joined a little gym. Actually, wasn't the school gym. It was kind of like this. It was a garage, an old car garage. I mean, a big car garage, had a few doors, old weights.
What year was this?
This would have been 95 probably. I graduated high school in 94, so probably 95.
I was 2 years old.
Oh, I wasn't born yet. Did you play high school sports? Did you wrestle? Or
Wrestled.
Okay.
Didn't start till 9th grade, so
Okay,
played basketball before that, and took me about till 8th grade to realize I wasn't a good basketball player. So I started at 9th grade wrestling. Was on the team through high school. Mediocre wrestler, but had a good time with the team. And then did football a couple years, but mainly wrestled. Did a little bit of track. Always, like I said, loved weightlifting and would do that on the side, bicycling. And then after I graduated college, I kind of got into running a little bit, 5Ks, and then found CrossFit and did some powerlifting too, my early 20s. Found CrossFit when I was 29. I want to say it was February of 06.
Okay.
And so I started doing the CrossFit.com, and at first I was
just out of your house, or
well, I was here in Jenks. I was going to Select Fitness, a 24-hour gym.
okay.
And I had a cousin that was in the military, Breck Berry, who actually told, I think he had told my dad about it and knew I was into fitness and everything, and he told me about it. And so I thought, well, I'll check it out. And I remember I went and tried one of the workouts. It had overhead squats is all I remember. And it had a 95 pounds, which I'd always front squatted and back squatted, and thought, well, that would be simple. I'd never done an overhead squat.
Yeah.
Went in to the Select Fitness, and I couldn't do the 95-pound overhead squat. So that humbled me because I thought I was in good shape, and just started doing CrossFit. The first year I was still running a lot and doing it, but then after about a year in, I really bought in and saw what it would do for you. And just ever since then, I've been doing pretty much nothing but CrossFit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I was running 5Ks a lot before we opened the gym. Now, once we opened the gym, my Saturdays were kind of full, so I didn't get to do that anymore and just went kind of CrossFit all since then. So I guess it's been 14 or 15 years now.
Long time.
Yeah.
Didn't you recently PR your Fran time?
I did, yeah.
What'd you
How
get?
old are you?
44. Yeah.
Dang,
What
that's
was
crazy.
your time?
It was 2:34 maybe. I hate to say that, and I don't know.
2:34.
I want to say that. I could be wrong. 2:30. It was in the 2:30s, I believe. What was interesting about that is we always have a link to on our website, so I would link back to all the Fran times I could find on the site, and I think I had over 30.
Dang.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have this pulled up?
This is at 3.5 minutes. We're just gonna watch this first round. We're gonna critique his first round here.
9:22:07.
Okay, not bad.
Lockouts. I'm in front.
You're not locking out.
I
Good.
mean, I'm not in the.
But it's really not that bad.
It's not bad at all. It looks pretty good.
The squat looks okay. I can probably push those knees out a little.
What shoes you wear? What shoes you wearing? They look real stable.
Those are some running shoes I
They
had,
look like Brooks.
and my board shorts. They were big back then.
Board shorts.
Oh yeah, that was the
The OG CrossFit short.
You'd see most people wearing them. The guys on the .com stuff, they'd had the board shorts on. So.
And this is in the old gym?
Yes, that's
Okay.
our very first gym. One little bay we had. We didn't have a lot of square footage in there. Maybe 1,500 square foot total with the office and everything.
Okay.
So there might have been 1,000 square feet
Yeah.
in the actual gym.
So did you feel like you were
Pull-ups
cheating
aren't that
yourself
bad.
by not kipping? Like
No,
really
because
kipping?
When I got into it, no
Yeah.
one showed me anything except for what little videos I could find on CrossFit. So back then, if
Did butterfly pull-ups even exist at that point?
no, I never had seen any butterfly pull-ups.
Okay, yeah.
And
Dude, you're still jacked. So what'd you do to get that jacked before?
I've always lifted weights. I'd go through phases where I'd want to lift heavy sometimes, and then I'd go through running phases. And I always kind of kept the old school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Monday would be chest, shoulder, tris. Wednesday would be legs, and Friday would be back and bis. And then typically like Tuesday, Thursdays, and maybe Saturdays, I would. Back then, I would used to bicycle probably first. I actually was a big Stairmaster. I like the Stairmaster. And then I got into running. So I always had a decent background with cardio and lifting. So, and I squatted and deadlifted. Like I didn't neglect some of the foundational power lifts.
Yeah.
So when I got into CrossFit, I had a pretty good, background except for Olympic lifting. And I'd always kind of done handstand push-ups as a kid, but I always faced the wall.
Okay,
So, some stuff I had done and I always did pull-ups. So like a lot of times my warm-up would be as few sets as possible to get 50 pull-ups strict. And I did that on a
Nice.
pretty regular basis. So when I came in, I had, I could do a lot of the movements. The Olympic lifting was new. And like we were talking about, back then on .com, it was Bergener with his daughter that he would video, and that was the only videos you could find on Olympic lifting. So like if it said hang, squat, snatch, I would have to watch the video over a few times to even know what the movement was. And then once I converted my garage into a gym, I'd just go out there and no telling what I was doing. I mean, I wish I would have videoed it to kind of see some of the movements what they look like for the Olympic lifts.
Yeah.
And then I just, a lot of that was just self-taught through videos. So yeah, I wasn't real efficient, you could say, with some of it, for sure.
That Stairmaster, it makes sense why you crushed that burden run workout. Didn't you win that one?
I did. That was
You crushed that. I remember watching that.
I used to ride the Stairmaster across the top, if you're familiar with it, for 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
I just
That's what that workout was. It was
I'd
basically a
jack it all the way
Stairmaster.
up, yeah. And I'd do that on a regular basis. And then right before I found CrossFit, I would do a treadmill 5K daily pretty much as fast as I could.
Oh my God.
So I'm
That's
talking,
great. What speed?
I could typically do them always in the 18s, and sometimes I'd be in the 17s. So I was over a 10-mile-an-hour pace.
Yeah.
And then about once every couple months, I would try a 5-minute mile because where I was going, they had treadmills that would do 12 mile an hour, which is a 5-minute
Yeah.
mile if you can maintain it.
How close you get?
I could typically make it. I mean, I
Nice.
couldn't do it now, but back then I could make it most of the time on the
Yeah.
5-minute miles.
What was your best 5K ever?
17:34, the OSU
That was on a track and everything?
no,
Official?
road race
Okay.
down to, it was at the OSU hospital. They had a
God,
scrub
fast.
run or something it was called. That was the fastest 5K. Fastest mile, I did a downtown mile where it kind of had some drop in elevation, straight shot, and 4:56. So
God, it's crazy.
we're reliving the glory days, so that's not what I'm doing. It wouldn't be a 4:56 right now.
So my question is about the 2008 CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
How did you
Well-
get connected with it? Was it official? What was it like then?
Yeah. So this
Oh.
is before you opened the gym, right?
You 07 or 08?
I guess 07.
07.
Because I couldn't find any leaderboard on 07. I saw you got 15th in 2008.
Yep. I think in 2007 I got 5th. There were, I don't know, 40, 50 men. I wasn't a whole lot of men. But they had posted a flyer on .com, CrossFit.com, just as like the picture of the day. And basically you had 3 events, a run, the CrossFit Total, and then they were going to have the hopper workout.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was trying to educate myself on as much CrossFit. I'd, on their .com every day, I'd research it. I just fell in love with doing it, and I wanted people to compete with. I even had set up my garage for where we could do 2 people doing pull-ups, or I had enough equipment that I could get a friend to come in there and maybe compete with. But I didn't have really anyone that was interested in doing it like that. So when I saw that, I was telling my dad, who was retired, about it, and I didn't think anything of it, but he said he would fund the trip if I could get off work, which I had some vacation. So I was like, sure, let's drive to California. So we actually drove. We drove out there.
Drove to California for a comp?
Yeah. And we drove out there. And the coolest thing about that is that back then, CrossFit, most people would post on CrossFit because there just wasn't any boxes around. So if you were doing CrossFit, you could get on there and post your scores. And I would follow a few guys that were pretty consistent at posting good scores. And when I got out there, those guys were actually out there. So that was pretty cool because, all these guys I've been following and competing against that went out there too. So, and I want to say Spieler in the top 5, I ended up placing 5th. And the guys in the top 5, I think he was the only one under 30. So,
Okay.
It was kind of like a lot of us guys that had, we had degrees in fitness or businesses already in fitness. I think just saw what CrossFit, what a program it was, and just all went out there to do it. So it was pretty fun.
So you competed in 2000, that was 2007?
2007.
And then again?
In 2008, yeah.
And then your mom also.
She
Linda.
went in 2011.
Okay, so that was later on.
Yeah. 2007, 2008, there was no qualifying process. You just signed up.
Okay.
2007, there wasn't that many people. In 2008, it kind of blew up. It had, I think, 196 men that actually competed. I think they sold out 20 or 200 spots.
You nailed it, 196.
I thought it was
I got the leaderboard
196.
right here.
Wow.
And then I believe women were 100 women. I want to say there wasn't as many women. And you got to try to pick your order if you got in enough time of the events. They had them, and you could kind of pick the order then. And that was the biggest year. And in 2009, they had sectionals. So it was before the Open started in 2010. So in 2009, you had the sectionals, which we had one here in Tulsa.
Our dad did it, actually.
Yep, I actually met him out there. Yeah, I met him, talked to him out there that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was a head judge because I'd done the games. They allowed it to you could already go to regionals.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
okay.
And I wish I would have competed in sectionals, but I went ahead and did a head judge spot they asked me to do, and then I went to regionals in Fort Worth. We had South Central regionals, and I placed second. And then 2010 was the Open, and our regionals was back in the South Central then. I placed second again, so I made it back in 10 and 11. We went to North Central, and I believe I got 9th in regionals, didn't make it. And that's when my mom made it in 2011. In 2012, we made it as a team. We won regionals with a team, and I tore my bicep at the games. And then I want to say my cousin Dennis made it in 2014 as a Masters. And then we made it back in 16 as a teenagers
I
and
was
Masters.
trying to dig my shirt up. It's in
it's
in my T-shirt treasure trove.
Oh.
I don't wear it anymore because I want to keep it nice.
We had some pretty sweet
There's
shirts.
an awesome T-shirt they made of Breck and Sydney's face, side by side.
Yeah, I still wear mine. Yeah,
So I actually
Gordon.
have the leaderboard pulled up, and you got 15th, and you know who got 14th?
Oh gosh.
Dave Lipson.
Dave Lipson got 14th. Okay.
Dave Lipson got 14th, and then James Fitzgerald got 11th, 12th.
Okay.
12th. Chris Spieler got 10th. Then Matt Chan's on there.
Jason.
few
Josh Everett,
old school guys, yeah.
and then Jason Kalipa. That's a good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Breck.
That is good.
I think some of these names, I think they've fallen off, but you've stayed fit the whole time.
I've tried to stay consistent. That's one thing I always tell people, you got to be consistent. Get your foot through the door. So that's the one thing I try to do, is just stay consistent at daily workouts. So
Yeah.
I think the most impressive feat for you is you made it to regionals in 2015? 14?
Yeah.
How old were you at that point?
37, I think.
I mean, that's when it was getting pretty
37,
competitive and pretty real.
Yeah. Well, when I went to regionals that time, I just had a great time because I knew I wasn't going to win. So, I mean, it's like,
May as well.
we went out there and had a good time, Nicole and I.
impressed
So,
by that.
that was fun.
And then you guys went as a team.
In 12, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys all have kids at that point?
I believe, I don't know if Matt Stowers had any kids. Most of us did, for sure. Yeah.
I know I have because they had a team event in 2009, right?
Probably.
Because I have my 2009 CrossFit Sky shirt.
Okay.
And it was like 3 moms and 3 dads. And I don't think they could ever. I don't think a team of 3 moms, 3 dads could make it again. Do you?
Well, it'd be tough. I think it'd be real tough. Yeah, for sure.
Different times.
Yeah.
So at what point in that time frame did you decide you wanted to open up your own gym?
So I have a degree in health and human performance. I worked 9 years as a rehabilitative fitness instructor for a place called the Center for Individuals with Physical Challenges at 8th and Utica here in Tulsa. And I was actually looking into some franchises at the time. Fitness Together was sending me some information, but I really wasn't interested in one-on-one training. And their franchise fee was pretty steep, which I didn't have any money. And then I'd looked into Anytime Fitness, which was a 24-hour facility, and we'd looked in some small towns around the Tulsa area, and I was actually talking with the guys on the franchise side of it. And then about that time, I found CrossFit, and after reading so much about how you could have a world-class facility in your garage, and I realized I didn't want to go that route of like just a machine gym where you can show up whatever. And, you could start CrossFit back then with really almost no money. I mean, because no one had done it. So I found a spot here in Jenks, and I took out a second mortgage and risked it and just said, hey, we got enough money to cover our rent and bills for a couple years, even if I still work full time. And that was in 07, so I knew I wanted to open some kind of gym, and I always wanted to try it. And so I worked full time the first year, just trying to get it up and running, and we slowly grew. So we might have had 8 to 10 people around when we first opened, and then it's always been slow growth for us. I call it 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
So and we've just kind of gradually gone that way, and it's worked. After doing it the first year I was working full time, I quit my job after that first year and still contracted out with my old company and the YWCA to teach a little class. So I would teach morning classes, go downtown, teach some classes, come back and teach them afternoon. And once we grew large enough that we could have some daytime classes and it would cover that extra money I was making down there, then I just went full time and started. So we probably had 3 to 4 years of doing not just strictly the gym. I had to do a little bit of supplemental stuff to make it work, but it all worked, and now we got our own building. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, it shows. I mean, I think that was a big thing, especially when I first started CrossFit, is a lot of gym owners, I'd say a big amount of gym owners, especially in our area, it was like kind of their secondary thing. And I think that shows. I mean, it's hard to half-ass, I think you inevitably end up half-assing one thing or the other.
For sure, yeah.
And it can show sometimes, so.
Yeah, and Nicole, my wife, she kind of made me quit. I was so used to having a salary every 2 weeks, I was scared about not doing it, but I was working from early morning till sometimes 9 or 10 at night, getting home, and she's just like, you gotta get something's got to be done. So
Yeah.
took the risk and
Heck
worked
yeah.
out. Yeah. So
Open
You're-
workouts?
Okay, I got 2 things I want to share.
Oh, okay, I'm excited for this.
Breck's ingenuity during the key workouts, quarantine workouts. This is the greatest. These are the great. I watched all of these.
I did too.
These are the greatest videos I've ever seen. I was crying. So, Breck, when we went to lockdown, got real creative in his driveway for his community, and we're just gonna revisit a little bit of it.
is that my cord?
Did you like watch these back?
I've watched some. Yeah.
The bike was
Yeah.
the funniest part.
My bike thruster.
What are you deadlifting?
It's bricks.
Bricks in the
A
bag.
bag of bricks. Yeah. I'll give you all a backstory here in a second on all this too.
What's the back?
So, whenever we went into quarantine, everyone wanted me to loan out all the equipment. Well, I didn't want to give out like rowers. You just never know. It could be out in the rain, whatever.
Yeah.
But we gave out kettlebells and dumbbells because I was like, hey, I promise you can do a lot with kettlebells and dumbbells. So we loaned out all our kettlebells and dumbbells. And just because I didn't want to be like the one getting to come down to the gym and work out while no one else did, I told them that I would not use even a kettlebell or dumbbell. I was
We
going
did that
We did the same thing,
thing.
right? In solidarity.
I
Yeah.
was going to try to get creative. And so, honestly, I'd go out in the morning, and it would take me about 30 minutes to kind of find what I was going to modify or substitute. And the first week, I was like, this is going to be terrible. But then
Yeah.
after that, I kind of got to where I really liked it.
Yeah.
And, I was so used to lifting heavy for so long that it was a nice little break. I mean, and that stuff was challenging just because it was odd. I'd have to go slower. And, once I got into it, I found all kinds of cool stuff around the house that I could
This
do.
video is great.
Good morning, CFJ, and welcome to my home gym. I hope everyone's doing well. I miss everybody, and I hope everyone has a happy Easter. So I just want to kind of show some items I've used for my strength training and some body weight stuff. Let's start right over here. But first, I've used this mat
Wait a second, I'm not there yet.
for out back. I've got a little jungle gym I'm going to show us for you. This is my deadlift, and I have filled it with bricks. And I've weighed all this stuff. So this is 110 pounds. The parallettes, I made these when I first got into CrossFit, probably 06 for my garage gym. Nicole loves that I save all this stuff. I've got an ammo can. I like to target shoot. Or like a wall ball shot since it's 30 pounds. Like a heavy wall ball squat, thrust over it. A keg I've had for a long time. I believe from my 20th birthday party. Kind of muscle snatch it overhead so I can use it for high rep, grip, overhead squat. I've used this bike for more of like a front squat, which you can do overhead squats. It's 45 pounds. It's a tandem bicycle I've had since my first job in my 20s. I bought it off of them. I used to ride disabled people on it. I can do snatches with it. I can do, once again, a little tougher overhead squat. I can even do more of like a rack position front squat. This is an empty propane tank. It's kind of nasty. Pounds, use it for high rep swings. BMX bike, got into BMX not too long ago, so I use it sometimes for the runs. Press here, 53 pounds, so it's actually 1.5 pood exactly. And I'll have to control a little more coming down. Also, I'll use it for my overhead lunges. I want to safely get it overhead. Now I'll lunge out there around the cul-de-sac 50 steps. Is this hydraulic jack. Power plate. I come up, I control, I stand. Now I can push press or strict press it overhead. Believe that's everything right here. Let's walk around back. Come on, Pete. This works great for a pull-up for me or a toe to bar. Muscle up on it. I can toe to bar it. For a dip, come up here. Walk out, stay tight. I use this for my box. What? So on, so I've used that for my box jump. All right, get out there and get some.
You know what was funny? When I was doing all that, I had my next door neighbor, older couple, and the lady comes out and she goes, "Hey, Breck, do you care if I ask you a question?" And I said, "No." She goes, "How come your lifting all this if you've got a gym? And I had to explain to her why I was doing it. And then I had another neighbor come over, and he said I was lifting that jack. And he goes, so is this the kind of stuff you all do down there at your gym? I was like, oh, no. We actually have weights and
We're a
stuff.
little bit fancier than that. And then I have this other video of you and Justin Allen doing 11.3.
Yeah.
Which this was, I think this was like my first open workout ever.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember I couldn't do it. And I got so pissed. I went
And he was
outside. I almost
13.
broke my toe. I kicked a dumpster outside the sky. But yeah, and it's just funny watching you and Justin do it. Who's all in this video? I think I see Brittany somewhere. At some
So I
point.
think Brittany's in there. Paige is my judge. I think Stowers, that Matt Stowers, that is, Justin's judge. Nicole's in it, and I think Brittany's in there. I believe that's who
That's
all's in
Nicole.
it.
That's funny.
Yep, and this was, there's no way I could beat Justin now, but I actually got him in that one. Oh, that just by a couple reps.
I'm gonna tag Justin.
I'm
in this.
gonna take that victory. Yeah.
Are these thrusters?
No, it was just ground overhead, so people were just
But
thrusting.
okay,
You-
because the front
it-
part said squat.
Had to
clean
be
and
a
So
jerk.
back then,
Said
that was a
jerk.
real heavy one. So they had a 2-score, like you got 1 point for the squat clean, and you got 1 point for the jerk. Because some people might be able to clean it, but they couldn't overhead it. So, and you could basically just go through the front squat and thrust if you wanted. So yeah, they had it as a 2-point deal. So you had to get them both. But yeah, that was a good workout.
Heck yeah, I love it. Love it.
That's so funny. Is that the old? That's CrossFit Jenks.
Yep, that's the very first one. That's
So
the
was
very
it?
first.
It looks like it's like it ends right here or something. Did you expand?
No, so just see how like these beams are here. So it would be like just one of these.
Okay.
And, like if you came in, you had an office, and then it had a door, it came back, and you had one back garage
And this is
door.
different than the building before this building.
That's our very first one. It's actually on the corner. So,
Oh.
well, if you turn
This
left,
looks
you'll see
smaller, so I was confused.
Yes.
it. You would see
Yeah.
it right up here on the left. And then later on, I think we actually up there at this time, we had cut a door, and there's another side just like that. The neighbors had moved out, so we leased the other side. But it was hard to coach that way. You had basically a double door at the front, and then 2 areas, so you'd have to stand in between the doors sometimes, or
Yeah.
you had power racks on one side, pull-up cage on the other. So you might have to run from side to side. But that was the first gym, and then we moved into a second space, and we're there about 5 years, and then this is our third.
Was CrossFit Jenks the first CrossFit gym in Oklahoma?
No, there was a
no-
CrossFit Tulsa. I did a little research when I first got into it, and I saw CrossFit Tulsa. I contacted the guy, and they were just doing it out of a garage at that time.
Was it Brandon Wyckoff?
Yep, and they had affiliated, and I was so eaten up with it, I wanted to go work out, and so he said, "Yeah, come on over. We're on Saturday or something." So it was a guy's house over, I think, like off Memorial in some neighborhood. And I was disappointed because they were following CrossFit.com. That's what I was following. And I think the workout of the day was like hang clean, 5 sets of 3, And I was going over there to get in like Metcon. I wanted to see what I had. So, my hang clean wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. But
I remember those. I
wanted
remember
to-
going in there and being kind of like seeing the strength in the board. And like,
Yeah.
just kind of psyching myself up for the WOD.
But yeah, so I went over there and met those guys, and then I think we're the second affiliate around this area, and that's one reason we came to Jenks. Like back then, I was like, I don't want to step on any toes in Tulsa, and we lived out this area, and so I found this spot, so I was like, yeah, that'll work perfect. So we just came out here, and I think we were like the 142nd affiliate, somewhere in there, 142, somewhere give or
Okay.
take, but I think that's what we were. We affiliated in August of 07 is when we did our affiliation. Back then, you didn't even have to be certified. You had to get certified within the first year. So I got the affiliate, and I went and got certified in November.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was, and we've done it, stayed true every year. So
Yeah, it's great.
it's been fun.
Heck yeah. Hey, thanks again.
Yeah, I
Appreciate
enjoyed
this.
it. Yeah, for
Yeah,
You
sure.
have the
Story.
best stories.
We really wouldn't be where we are because of
I
you.
mean,
So
Well, I appreciate that, but
That's fact.